The NeuroDADverse podcast is produced by Squid Shack Studios.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Dan.
We're both fathers,
We're both married.
and we're both raising kids with diagnosed neurodiverse conditions.
Parenting is tough, and we're not saying it's harder for us, just different.
And sometimes that different can be hard to explain.
That's why we've created the NeuroDADverse, a weekly show where we share our wins, our challenges, and all the neurosparkly and neurospicy bits in between.
Our hope is to create a safe space for parents to share their own highs and lows of neurodiverse parenting. And just to remind you of three things.
You're doing great,
You are enough.
and you're definitely not alone.
So welcome to the NeuroDADverse. So yeah, hello. It is time to embrace the neurosparkly and neurospicy bits of our lives. Welcome into the NeuroDADverse. It is the podcast for, about, and definitely by parents of neurodiverse children. What we do each week is that Dan and I come on here to share our biggest challenges and wins of the week. We talk through some of the comments and conversations we've had about the podcast. We then look ahead to the week that's coming up, and then finally we share some bath time scores. I'm Ben, and as I said, he's Dan. How you doing this
Ooh.
afternoon, Dan?
Yeah, pretty good. Feeling a little bit tired. We just come back from a big out, but we can discuss that a
Ooh.
bit later.
Oh, exciting. I too am tired. It's been a long final week of the summer holes. But that'll come up, I'm sure, in when we think about what's happening next week. Right ho. Where on earth do we start? What might? All right, let's do the week in 3 words.
Right, okay.
I've written mine down. Shall I go
So-
first?
Yeah, I've actually written, my eye line is being broken here, peeps, because I had to write things down as well. So go
Okay,
on
it's
and you
fine,
go
it's fine.
first.
I've gone. I'll tell you what I've done. I've gone too far up in the document and almost read you last week's.
That would have been a good memory test if I remembered.
Oh no, and I've only done 2. So I've written growing, isolation, and I'm gonna say memory. Not because I forgot what the last one was, but there are some memories that reignited this week.
Nice. So I've kind of expanded on. They're more like mini phrases or short sentences.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was trying
So-
to work out, and actually, it's more expressive than in actual singular words. But so my latest Instagram story that I just got tagged in from our out. So my first one is park strolls with sausage rolls.
Nice.
Daddy downtime and new normal.
Oh,
Implies question mark.
that's a phrase I haven't heard for a long while. Cool. Well, what might or might not come into my wins or challenges this week are 3 things. I attempted to help both Oscar and Mabel sort through and throw out or give to charity their old or unwanted clothes, or the ones that don't fit. This weekend we had a lot of people over for like a party that we do every year. So there's quite a lot of people in the house. And also the 4 of us as a family did a cinema trip.
Amazing. Love cinema, so that's always
stuff.
that's going to pique my interest. My week included trip to nannies, dentists again, a big out, and some of our usual activities, Sen Gym, and a couple of chill days with me and Frank. And I had a day out,
Oh, exciting.
hence daddy
Exciting.
downtime.
Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So where do we start? Do you want to tell me? I tell you what, I'd like to hear about the out. Tell me whether it was a win or a challenge, or is it neither?
Or is it both?
Oh,
Okay,
the
I'll
format
start.
is falling apart at the seams.
No, so it is one of the wins. It's not.
Okay.
I would. It's a pretty big. I'd say it's a pretty big win, but there was a bigger potential win in the week for me. But it also is the challenge, unfortunately. So, do I suppose I have to tell the story and then it will lead into challenge.
Yes,
But
fine.
there is another win. So I'll go through challenge by explaining it. Will start in a good place. And then, so we decided today that we did a big out, as in we were going to do a train journey to go to a park. We took Amy's brother with us. We all arranged to go, and we did also go with some of our sort of send friends that we do play dates with, and we see at the gym and other things, and we hang out with. So there was 4 adults, 3 kids, train rides.
A lot.
How does it? Yeah, it was
A lot of
good.
transition.
Yeah, there's a lot of transition. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, okay. So the 5 things that have to go right just to try and get the day going is Frankie going to get dressed and show willing that he wants to go out? When we open the front door, is he going to come with us and walk with us? When he does do that, which he did, we need him to go left, and Frankie is not a big fan of doing lefts. He likes going rights. If we want to go left, we'd have to do 3 rights
Yep,
to try and go left. Yeah.
that's how that works. Yeah.
Yep. So he did that, and I'm like, great. We got up the hill, motorbike went past, but it was okay. We got down to the train station. Now, sometimes just seeing the train station can be a little bit overwhelming, and he doesn't want to go near it. We got through that. Then he's got to get on the train when the train arrives, because they're only every half an hour, because it's a Sunday. All of those things were passed, and I'm like, winning. Like, here we go. Got to the park. It's a 5-minute walk from the train station, but we've never been there with him before that he will remember. We went there when he was a baby. It's literally get out the train station, walk up a road, cross the road, and you're in. But it was new. He did all that, and we actually had a pretty decent time in the park. To be fair, it was a real
Nice.
joyous highlight. There was a few moments where he did want to be picked up, and we did, because it was obviously new to him. But we also said, "No, come on, you can do this. You can walk. You can walk." And he begrudgingly walks, and then he had a really good time. We sat down, had some lunch. Well, basically, Frankie dictated the day.
Yeah, of course.
But the people we were with didn't care. Like, their kids are kind of just happy to sort of go with the flow. Their needs transitioning with them isn't one of their main challenges. So yeah, we went around some, like, the flower gardens. Frankie really enjoyed that. We were playing with some playing with squirrels and pigeons. Squirrels and pigeons liked us because we had
Yep.
food. We all sat down. We had a nice time. We walked around the parks. Then we went to the big sand pit with, like, all the water that they have. So that was great. And we actually went on some of the plastic pedalo-y sort of things. So
Oh,
that was
rad.
a real. So me and Amy's brother went on there with the 3 kids. And yeah, it was like 20 minutes. It was probably like the longest and quickest 20 minutes ever, bouncing off the walls because we kept crashing. But all the kids were giggling and loved it, and it was just a really, really nice day.
Amazing.
We made the train back. Everything was going good. My challenge of the week was 3:15 today till 4 p.m. today. The bus service, just like the tide, several weeks ago we went to the beach, just didn't arrive when it said it was going to arrive.
Okay.
And we had to stand for half an hour with a very tired Frankie waiting for the bus to arrive to take us home. We changed what way we went home so we could all get off at the same station instead of being like 3 separate stations. But this meant we could get a bus pretty much outside our house. We didn't have to do a walk up the hill. It was the correct logical decision, but in hindsight, the completely wrong one. So he was incredibly upset because he just can't understand the waiting. He's hungry now. He's tired. We did look at some of those apps where you can get cars come and pick you up and take you, but even they were going to take longer than the bus. It just kept saying it will be 8 minutes. For half an hour we waited, and then 2 turned up at once, and we're like,
Yeah.
so that was really challenging because he was
How-
kind of getting upset. And then the little cherry on top, unfortunately, was because we were waiting there so long, a gentleman came over to us that had clearly been drinking, and literally every 5 or 6 seconds he was changing what his mood was. He was either really happy, then he was really not happy. So I was like, "What's up, mate? Are you okay?" And then he'll be like, "Mate, why are you crying? What's wrong?" And I'm like, this is not helping our situation at all. Like, Frankie is crying. We're trying to get away from this guy politely. I was just like, we could really do without all of this. And then the
Oh,
bus
mate.
finally turned up. So that was the real challenge. And it's just, I know a lot of people go, you could have just drove. And I'll be like, we do not drive. That is a decision that we have made. But at another time in another pod, if people really want to know, I will happily share my logic of why we think that the decision not to drive is still most beneficial to us as a family.
Yeah.
But yeah, that situation could have been wholly
Let me
different.
just
Yeah.
quickly do a quick point on that. As a family who have driven and always driven, it's not any more
Yeah.
easier for the
It's
transition.
just different.
It's
Yeah,
just a
yeah, yeah,
different
yeah,
transition. It's not
yeah.
the bus or the waiting or the train. Like it is the waiting, but yeah. Can I ask
Well, because you
once?
can get stuck in traffic in the car,
Oh
can't
my
you? And
gosh.
then you can't do anything. At least I took Frankie on laps to try and help him
Yeah, yeah,
regulate,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so
Um,
yeah, but yeah.
once on the bus, did Frankie start to regulate more?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Okay.
I am really appreciative that Frankie, when he starts to feel safe and chilled or whatever, because obviously
Yeah, yeah.
the guy was stressing him out because he was trying
Yeah.
to get away, but we were holding on to him and trying to keep him safe because we're by a road and a train station. He can't just go running off and whatever. So yeah, he went up on the top deck, he sat down, and then he just sort of just sat there like that, sort of
Yeah.
chilling into me, looking out the
Good.
window. And then when we said get off the bus, he just got up, he walked down. He wanted to go right because he hates going left, and we knew that was the danger, but at least we were closer to home. So the journey was literally like 2 minute walk instead of like a 10-minute walk. Um, he went to make a thing of it and just went, I can't be bothered. I'm that tired. I'm not even going to fight you.
Good.
And then we both held a hand each and we walked home. So
Amazing.
that was a
It
challenge. Uh,
sounds on balance. Like that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I do listen. I have listened back to some of our episodes, and I do sit there going, "How challenging is my challenge?" Some people might think to go, "Actually, you might have it quite easy," but that they all kind of, as you say, we get through them, but
Mm.
it can be super frustrating. That, like, literally at 3 o'clock today, we were having the perfect park day.
Hmm.
By
Listen,
3:15, we were not having a perfect part day, and it's just the way the cookie crumbles, and I get it, and
picking
any
the
parent can have bad days, but yeah, like, now we're just trying to be like, thankfully, he's not back at school tomorrow. He does have
yeah.
a day before he goes back because they're doing the teacher training, but yeah, if he was going to school tomorrow, tonight could be quite a stressful one. He might not sleep great, or he might just pass out early. He might pass out while we're recording the pod and be up before midnight. That's not a good way to start the week. But we
No.
did have an amazing 8
Cool.
till 3.
That's so
So
good.
yeah,
But they also, yeah.
kind of a weird challenge because it was sounded
No, no,
mostly
no.
positive, but
No,
it's
because
always bittersweet.
that challenge could have dominated your mindset. But by talking and sharing the joyful moments of like the flower garden and the squirrels and stuff, sounds amazing. And the pedalo, great. What a great, like great afternoon.
Yeah.
Um, cool. I'll go with challenge as well then.
Ooh, okay, go on then.
Because it has a
We'll end
lot.
on a higher.
Yeah, it has a lot of. It's not like last week I was talking that some of my experiences had been, we've been sorting the kids' stuff out, and obviously earlier on I said I wanted to sort the clothes out. So I did the with both of the kids. I did the one of the Marie Kondo methods. I can't remember what reality TV show is, but she comes in and says like you just have to declutter your life. I think it's something like that. Anyway, she piles all of the clothes that you own into the middle of the room, into a huge pile. And then each one you say, like, does this bring me any joy? And if not, you say, you kind of say, thank you very much. And you give it to someone else. You spread the joy on. I didn't do it quite like that, but I did do the huge pile of everything, like dirty and clean, that you have. Do you love this? That was a lot more easier with Mabel because she was like, I really love that. And I was like, right, put it on. Does it fit you? She was like, oh, this is boring. Um, and she really wasn't in the space, and she said, I don't have the headspace for it. I said, fine. We just balanced it out this week. And we did it, and there were quite a lot of ones that went to charity. That was kind of fine. Mabel could see the benefit in it. I've never had a conversation with Oscar where this type of conversation has gone well at all. We've either had to scuttle something out and just do it ourselves, but for a variety of reasons, excuse me. And if you're listening to the pod, you'll kind of know that Oscar's in a mode of finding out who they are at the moment. So I thought this is the time to try and push a little bit and go, I need you to show me what your sense of style is.
Hmm.
It was met with a don't want to do this and crying and crying and crying. So I calmed them, spoke to them clearly, and just said that I said I'd use the daddy come back. When I come back, I bring clothes. And Oscar doesn't need to communicate with that broken down language anymore. But I find in moments of distress, it's really handy to go right back to when they had speech delay when they were younger, because in that moment of overwhelm, it's like short, sharp phrases. Hmm. So I come back and I realize in their wardrobe, they had like these little baskets of stuff, but because there was so much stuff, they were just hidden. And I thought, well, this is now like, do you remember if you're listening to the podcast, remember choosing an outfit for the school for the school beach trip? Dad made it a game again. So I had give to another child, keep in my wardrobe, throw in the bin. 3 buckets. Now, obviously, if they threw in the bin, I was gonna collect it and put it and take it all to a charity shop or clothing dump or like recyclable, that sort of stuff.
Clothes
So
bank. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yes, that's what exactly what I was looking for. Thank you. And that seemed to engage.
Mm.
And I'd only brought, I think, a third of the pile. And Oscar really begrudgingly and annoyingly took it and started like throwing things in the baskets. And then in a way, like, oh, I don't want this anymore. But then one it bounced and didn't go in the right basket. And, oh no, no, no. So we made it a game, and I was like, "You've completed round one." Oh, and like I got what like natural. I don't want to do this teen stuff. But what was lovely was then um, we completed it. When I completed it, there were like 2 new drawers under their bed. I was like, "You get to choose where things go." And they were making the piles and going, "Oh, um, t-shirts t-shirts, short sleeves there, long sleeve things there." I was like, "Okay, that's how you wanna organize it." And I was like, really they were really showing their diagnosis. And they were going, "Oh, that's," he calls the piles sleepy nights. It's like some echolalia stuff that, Laura has probably put into. We love it. So I was like, "Fine." I was going, and I deliberately knew something wasn't a sleepy night. So I was really pushing the boundaries. It's like holding up a T-shirt. No, it's sleepy nights. No, Dad, too small. Okay, fine. But boy, did that take me best part of a whole afternoon, because it was like, and it was. I think I framed it in a positive way because the task is done. But that's my criteria. So that was my win, but it wasn't really for me as much. So it was a challenge for Oscar
Mm.
because they don't like talking about their clothing or getting rid of the stuff. I made the mistake of going, "And what about the train track? Can we give train track to another child?" And they just looked at me with dead eyes, and I was like, "Okay, not toys today. Different day toys." Because that's obviously a core like childhood memory. So it was just super challenging because you're at a stage of going, "Oh, this is going well. I could probably do all the clothes." And we did, but there was definite points where, I'd also interrupted like an online, um, they were just chatting online, and kind of going through like some role playing stuff. So, but yeah, it was a lot. We got through it, and I'm trying to think that that's a good thing. And they're slightly more organized going into the start of the year. Similarly, they have a day or so before they go back. So, yeah, I think it's a parental thing that you kind of just want to take it and do it. But Oscar will ask sometimes out of the blue, "Where is the," and then name an item. And I'd go, "Oh, we got rid of that." And it causes a lot of emotional distress. So I thought trying to bring them on board this summer was a good thing. So I think it is a win, but just felt so challenging on what should just be a relatively simple conversation, even if the kid's grumpy about it. So yeah, that was the challenge of the week. We got through, but stressful.
No, that I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine if I was trying to do something like that with Frank, it it would probably take all day as well. So my future self is going to resonate with that moment, no doubt. I did want to just go back on I can't remember exactly what you said now. I've been trying to keep it in my brain, but sometimes if I don't interrupt, ADHD brain
Oh,
can't
that's fine.
always hold. It's
Please
just escaped me.
interrupt.
So you said something about it connected better, and I wanted to be like, I can't remember if it's when you said you gamified it or something else. But I went, why do you think? I wanted to ask, why do you think it just seemed to go better than you thought at that particular moment?
Well, if it was making a game of it, I think that's just because that's how Oscar enjoys. I don't know. I think when they started to see certain clothes that they have that they probably had even maybe forgotten about, I don't know if that's true, but ones that they hadn't seen in a while because they're at the back of a wardrobe stuffed down, that are a little bit more expressive of how they want to express themselves. They all ones that like Mabel has handed down, if you like. Uh, yeah, I think they just started to think, oh, well, if I go through, there might be more things that I enjoy like that. I don't know.
Mm, interesting.
Um,
A follow up. Documentary filmmaker, and he's always going to keep asking questions. So, in terms of like the actual, so did they get a new wardrobe when you've done the room setup? Did they
oh no,
get a new
so
wardrobe? Is it the same wardrobe? So,
it's the
if it's the
same
same wardrobe,
wardrobe, but we
do
moved
they
it.
set it up?
We moved it to the tiny box room, which is
Right.
the. It's a box room, not because it's small like a box. It just contains all of the boxes because we moved in 3 years ago.
And it takes time to
But
unpack. It's
I,
fine.
but what they wanted was a dressing table, so they now have a dressing table.
Right.
And
Okay.
like a crafty table. So
Right.
we figured, yeah. So that's
So,
we had to move something out, and
right.
my solution was, well, put their wardrobe in that other room, so they have to go and get stuff. But maybe more on the wardrobe later when we discuss wins.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So
Mhm.
my question would be like, so did they organize their own wardrobe then? Is that like, so if, when you do
Mm.
laundry, do you kind of go, here's a pile of stuff, leave it on the
Oh,
bed, and
oh,
then
no,
it
no, no.
disappears, or do you
Until
have a
until
say?
this weekend, there was just a pile of all of Oscar's clothes in our room because when
Right.
they want to choose their clothes. Well,
Right.
maybe we'll come back to this in the wins, or maybe not.
Okay. Calm
Um,
down, Dan. Calm down.
no,
That's
well, just I think there's probably lots of parents listening going, "What do you mean you hand your teenager a pile of clothes and then something happens?" Something definitely does happen in our house, but it isn't the desired thing. We're on
yeah.
a
I suppose
journey
that's
to
kind
get
of
there.
was
We're on a journey to
that's
get there.
That's what I was kind of getting at, because obviously when you're saying like obviously there's boxes and they've been piled up on, I'm assuming it's they want to put their thing, because obviously some people are very particular with how they want things done. They want it done. So is it a they can't remember because they've literally just got piles of clothes on top of each other, or is it you go in and
Uh,
put things where you
it will
think and then
be
it just
it will
gets
be
lost?
it will be we've been unable to get rid of a lot of things for them, so we've
Right.
just had to shove stuff in a
Yeah, fine.
wardrobe. It's the real honest opinion. But
That's fine.
moving through on that nice bit to wins.
Yeah. So
You
when
had a
I've
win because
already
you went to the park.
yeah,
Don't
so
forget that.
yeah, no, that is part of the win. I was going to say yes. I'll be one of our big wins this week has been today has been really good. The big out with family and friends did go well. Sleep is starting to become a little bit more what's the right word here? I
Regulated.
say yeah, a bit. I believe just maybe because it's just not as bright as long towards it's getting darker slightly earlier, because I do feel a lot of the reason we don't sleep in the summer is just because it is so bright and it's really hard to completely darken the house. But me and Amy have had discussions on how we completely black out rooms,
Mm.
so maybe we will do them. So yeah, that's what I meant by new
Just a word
normal.
on that. Oscar in the summer and in the brighter months has said to us, "Not bedtime, not dark."
Mm. Yeah, because that's the thing.
Well,
When
like,
kids are really young, we tell them because it's dark, go to bed. But actually, that's not
yeah,
that only works because yeah, okay, go to bed at 3 o'clock in the winter then, like because it's dark. So yeah, I suppose that is one of the things as parents you kind of don't think about, and it's making a rug for
yeah.
your back years
Well,
down the
yeah,
line
but
when you realise.
also
But
the diagnosis and the need means that you have to pivot, which is fine. Sorry,
yeah,
go on. Wins.
no, that's fine. So yeah, so sleeping is hopefully it looks like he's getting himself into a decent state to go back to school later this week. But the big win is, unfortunately, I wasn't there, but we've had some more words. So
Let's
I will
go, Frank.
set the scene. We are trying to do a bath time. And as we know, if you're a regular listener of the pod, bath time can be 50-50, but usually we get there. On this occasion, it took us a little while to get him in. I can't remember what day of the week it was. I really should, but again, it's been quite a long day and a draining couple of last
It's
hour
fine.
or so. We finally got him in. The ice cream man goes past outside. He jumps out, launches himself down the stairs, and he can look on our stairs. There's a window, and he can see into the street, and he can see the ice cream man. And Amy said, "Can't have an ice cream because you haven't finished bed, right? Wash. Sorry, you haven't finished your bath." So he watched the ice cream man sort of drive away and was like, "Oh, there's no ice cream," and was like, "Come here, let us put your cream on." Da, 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 da. So Amy was putting his cream on and getting him dressed and whatever else. And he went downstairs and he actually did everything that she said as she asked it to him and whatever else. We had ice cream. We had 1 or 2 ice lollies, sorry, in the freezer. So she went to the freezer, put some telly on for him, and she said, like, "Here's a lolly." He came over to her like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." She opened it, she gave it to him, and then he kind of just looked at her and said, "Thank you," and then like rubbed his head on her head and then walked off and went and ate his lolly. Where was
Oh,
Daddy while
mate.
this amazing, emotional, magical moment was? I was upstairs laying on the bed because I was told we were going to bed after bath. So I was sitting there getting everything ready and I'm like, "Oh, this is lovely."
It's fine.
And then I just said, "Dan, quick." And I was like, "What?" He just told me thank you. I'm like, but
Yes.
amazing. So Frankie has now said 4 words. All 3 of which have started, 75% of which have started since we've started recording the pod. So
Well done, Frank.
that's, yeah. So I was trying to get Amy to come on and say, but
If you're looking for
because of
something
the last couple of hours
if
that
you're
we've
looking for
had,
something to happen in your kids' lives, just start, or your family's life, just start a podcast, right?
yeah,
You get diagnosis straight away. You
yeah,
get words straight away.
I'm pretty sure it was pod 1, wasn't it? We're like, you
Yeah.
couldn't make this up. We've literally decided to start a podcast, and literally Frank said his first word 3 days before we recorded. I was like,
Yeah. And
second
we
word.
got
Well,
access to
first word.
we got access to the ADHD pathways for the anyway. That's a little bit of
So that
a
was
joke.
our
But yeah, that's
biggest
great,
win.
mate. It's also what were we before? Like pointing and identifying a cake and pointing and identifying mum.
Yes.
Now we have interaction, say word appropriate. So that's not just word understanding. Sorry, is that the phrase?
No, I understand that. Yeah.
Someone's listening who's a speech and language therapist going, "You don't know what you're talking about." But no, what I mean is they've not just, Frankie's not just identified the thing and said the correct word. He's used an appropriate phrase, which is not just about language. That's about understanding.
Understanding. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, rad.
So, and he can also form a great sentence, which is "Mum, cake, thank you." So,
Yeah, that's not a sentence. That's a conversation, mate.
yeah, that's no. So that was a great win.
I
And
talk about my hold on trick when we did thank yous.
hold
I don't
on,
know.
no, I don't think so. Enlighten me.
So when I started it because Oscar had no words and was struggling, and so I'd give them something, and that I would just hold on to it until they made a noise, and then I decided to do it with Mabel, and then Mabel had more words, and I said, what you say, then I let go. Thank you, let go.
Nice.
Seems a bit passive aggressive when I discuss it like that, but actually it's words. Oh, that's cool.
No, because I suppose that's the lovely thing about having an older sibling, because he can watch and see if I say that, then that happens. So I suppose, yeah, I mean,
But
that
then,
is, as soon as
yeah.
you said that as a speech and language, that's probably a speech and language sort of therapy activity,
Tool,
because
yeah,
they do, yeah,
possibly.
they do say like, oh, if they like something, we got told if he likes a toy, put it in a box, put it up high,
Yeah.
which is, some people go, that's cool, but all they want you to do is they want you to come over to you to go,
Yeah.
the point in is like they're engaging with you, then you give it to them, and then so yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
lovely.
nice, mate. Oh, words are great. Smashing
Words
it.
are great. And he does sound like he in his babbling when he's happy and he's singing and whatever else in the thing, it does sound like every now and again he might be saying like half a word. So
Yeah, cool.
it's nice.
Like I said, all the
And
interventions, all the stuff going in, it happens, you know?
yeah, so that was really nice to hear.
Right, can I dive in? So we had a lot of people over for a party yesterday, and so this is a little mini win, and it's not gonna sound like it. I went into Oscar, and so I named some people that were there. I said, "Come down, Mum's made food. You can have your normal food." And I named some people who they know was there, even suggested playing Mario Kart on the Switch, which is all they did last time we did this. And Oscar just raised his covers from his room and went, "Oh, I just don't think I want human contact today." I went, "Okay. Do you feel okay?" "Yes, just tired." I said, "Okay." And then we went back up, obviously, like regularly, go and see them. There was one interaction. So someone came around, they got a younger kid. They were going upstairs to the toilet, and then the the mum was going, "No, no, no, you can't go that way. Must come back downstairs." Apparently, Oscar opened the door and went, "Listen to your mother." Then went straight back out. And that was the sum total of Oscar's interaction yesterday at the party. And it was totally fine because it was understandable. I didn't want to push. I went back. "You want to come now?" A few people have left. There's less people. And do you know what? It was just like them regulating and communicating that regulation. And do you know what? They didn't even like interact on like online. They didn't phone anyone or whatever. They just happily were drawing and watching and maybe playing a bit of a game. That's
Mm.
up to them. So that was a little win that I quite liked because and it was perfectly fine in the household. And all of our friends who came were like, "Where's Oscar?" And we was just quiet. So like, Oscar doesn't want to have any human interaction today. And they were like, "Okay, that's fine." Um, it
That's
wasn't the
so
biggest
awesome
win.
that you can say that's so awesome to say that. You're like, okay.
Yeah,
And just seem to be generally tired, but still passing on a golden nugget of advice.
listen to your mum. Um, so we did a cinema trip. The
Okay.
day after, the evening after, um, I had sorted through the clothes.
Is that as a treat, as in for them
No,
doing it,
no,
or is
no, no,
that
no.
just no, you just wanted to get out of the house and just
It was if we don't do an evening activity that's an out, Laura and I will just continue to do housework, and I won't necessarily be able to unlock Laura from it. We were back and forth doing some stuff,
Mhm.
you know. Um, we've been doing a lot of painting and stuff, and just need to organize and sort the house out. And then it was, we get like, well, actually, if I could get that, that would be helpful, and that would make that area more organized. We had to go and do one of those things. Oh, also, Laura tends to make it her hyper focus every year to cook, quite frankly, is a banquet of food and is amazing, and everyone goes, "Oh my goodness, you should think about becoming catering." And she goes, "Oh, do you really think it's that good?" And it is, it's amazing. She's a wonderful cook. And then I come along with, "I hate to be this person, but you'd have to get an accountant." And she goes, "Oh, no, I don't do that." ADHD. But
96%.
indeed, yeah. Um, Oscar chose to get himself dressed, which is not an often thing.
Nice.
And I said, "No, everything is." Yes. They got dressed, and I've just been to check before pod, and they are perfectly fine with me talking about this as my win. They came down in some chunky heeled shoes that used to be Laura's, a black long sleeved flared jumpsuit that used to be Mabel's, and like a kind of like fluffy knitted black cardigan, and their hair long over their face. And they got out of the car, and I got out of the car, and I thought, I've never seen them walk in like chunky thick heels before. We're going into like a big cinema. I'm just really happy they've made the choice to make the thing. They've chosen their clothes, and they've got dressed, and they've come down themselves. There was not any like when then. They got out, they put their hand on their hip, and they strutted into this cinema, and I couldn't have been prouder. And I was like, "This is amazing." So, Oscar, thank you for that. It was incredible. They also started running and jumping, which is amazing. Born to walk in heels, that kid. So yeah, what a win. Super unexpected, but yeah, I loved it. Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at NeuroDADverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves. Okay, so welcome back into the NeuroDADverse. We're at that stage where we talk about conversations or any kind of online or in-person conversation we've had about the pod. But I think, Dan, I've got on my little here, you want to do a bit of a charts update?
Yeah, so mind blown. I know this is episode 12, I think
Mm.
now. So yeah,
Episode 12.
we started recording on Father's Day this year. We didn't release for another 6 weeks because we're like, we're just seeing how it works and if it works within our schedules, whatever. So we did release with like 6 episodes, and then the 7th episode came out pretty quick. But yeah, we actually charted in 2 charts in the Apple podcast in parenting and family,
Nice.
kids and family. And
Wow.
as we both say, we are not trying to claim that we are experts in any stretch of the imagination.
No.
We're just 2 guys that are happy to share our weekly wins and challenges of living with neurodivergent children. So yeah, we got up to my knowledge, we were up to 84 in the Apple parenting chart.
That is really nice to know that you guys out there are listening.
There are people listening to this right now.
Yeah.
Well, in a week's time, right now. But yes,
I'd
that's so
ca-
cool.
I'd do this call every week if anyone wasn't, though. I just wanted to
No.
I don't want to like run it down, but people are listening and it's great. Thank you. But yeah, I would chat to you about my week because it is really helpful. So if you're
No,
enjoying
totally.
listening to us chat about it, that's great. And if you're here for the first time, there's more words and potentially more diagnoses on the way. And definitely some more wins and definitely some more challenges. So thank you very much for that. It's
And
good.
go,
I don't know what we expected, and we also haven't really that's not been the focus of it. It's like we have a social media presence just because it's a good way of connecting and telling people it exists, right? But
yeah, and also we decided to launch a pod just before the start of the summer as well. So obviously life has been a bit busy. So the social media game isn't exactly on like full rocking and rolling or anything, but we
Hey.
are super grateful for everyone that
yeah, 100%.
does listen. And if you are a first time listener and you want to go back, there are 11 quality conversations that you can slowly catch up on.
And if you're listening to this one, that means if Dan said 11, one of them's not a very good one. Now I'll leave you to decide which one that is.
Ooh, yeah. But yeah, but yeah, just
12, but 12 means like 3 months worth of chatting. So that's fun. So how's my maths? Yeah, that's a quarter of a year.
quarter of a year. Yeah. Like,
Well, let's keep going and see how it goes. We did have a question from I know my friend from Ireland called Julie. She wanted to know, she was listening to the podcast when Laura came on to discuss her news. And I think she asked, correct me if I'm wrong, what was one of the questions on the ADHD assessment that Laura was so frustrated by or concerned by?
yeah, just
Something like
checking
that.
it. It was, to paraphrase, it was something along those lines, yes.
Yeah. Laura is around, but did not want to come onto the pod again. I think she thought, like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it 96%. So here's my big news. Off. Well, you'll be happy to know, Julie and other people, if you're interested to know which questions, particularly in the assessment, Laura was annoyed and frustrated at.
Yep.
She confidently cannot remember any of the questions. They went in one ear and out the other. She responded to them with my help and advocacy. I'm not making light of what was a very difficult thing for her, but she found it hilarious that when I asked her, she could not remember any of them. But if you are still wanting to know some of that information, I'm sure there's a moment when we can get Laura to sit down, have a look at some of those. We are supporting Mabel through the same process now. So maybe there's an opportunity in the future, but yeah, Laura wanted to say she's got no idea what she said in that meeting, other than I know I'm not going to be an astronaut, but I don't really see any reason why I can't be an astronaut. Which she loved. And yeah, I said I've met some people this week. Some people come over for the party, and I was telling them some stuff that's been going on. That are like, yeah, I know. I've been listening to the pod, and I was like, oh, really? Thank you. Oh, that's rubbish because
What do I say?
all my stories about the kids are now gone. How are you? What music are you listening to? No, I'm kidding. But it was just lovely, and they were like, yeah, it's really good. Looking forward to hearing it. And a lot of people were talking to Laura about it, and it was nice, kind of open doorway to maybe discuss that diagnosis. So yeah, that was good. You said you also met some people who were chatting about the pod in person to you.
Yeah, I went to a let's say like Frankie got invited to one of my school friends that I still see's daughter's party, and that was actually a nice one as well because again the transitioning would he go da, 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 da. He actually had an amazing time at this party, but one of her family members who I had never met before um came over with her and just said, they listen to your pod. I was, oh my god, it felt really weird because I was just like, as you say, we record this and we know that there are people that listen, but we don't exactly know who is listening. You see numbers, but you don't see names or anything like that per se. So, and I was just like, oh my god, I just thought I didn't know what to say for like one of the few times in my life. I'm just like, thank you so much. Do you find it interesting? She went, no, like me and my husband, they watch us on YouTube.
Nice.
Said I've showed him a couple of episodes and they're like, it's just really nice to get a dad's perspective on some of the stuff. I can resonate with some of it. Obviously, some of our life is different. And sort of like, thanks for doing it. And I was just like, oh, I just find it really hard to, I don't know. But one of my things is I can't really take people saying nice things to me. I don't know how to react.
Yeah.
Um, um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just kind of weird. It's just I don't know. It's not
Yeah.
overwhelming per se, but I'm just like, oh, just thank you so much. I'm like, please feel free to ask questions.
Yeah.
Share it with everyone. But yeah,
I
I just
like.
kind of got that validation. I felt like I'd been like not paparazzi sort of thing.
No,
I was just like,
but
I've just gone to a everyday event of a party, and there's like 3 or 4
mm,
people that, and I'm like, so yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah.
it does work.
Well, again, a nice additional benefit from doing this. Not the reason we're doing it, but and like we always say, it's for anyone who wants to listen about parenting, neurodiverse kids or kids in general, really. But we are both dads, and everybody's home experience is different, or parenting experience is different. But we do feel that there's if some dads can get some joy from it, like everyone else, then that's cool too. Oh, I like it.
Mhm.
Um,
Just thank you.
nice.
Yeah, that's I
Yeah,
suppose
love
just
it.
wrap that up with
Yeah,
thank you for listening. If you listen to us,
hundred,
just like,
100%.
share, comment, share it with someone who might like it. All makes a really big difference. Thank you.
Nice. Well, here is quite a big best named section of the podcast. It's the look ahead to the week ahead. Um, and it's quite a big one because I know what's happening tomorrow without looking at my phone. This guy's back to work, and the kids are back to school Wednesday, I think. And term one of the 2025-26 term school year will begin. So, yeah. What about you? What's going on for you? I imagine something similar.
Yeah, so Frankie's back on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is the staff training day. So yeah, the new normal, I suppose, like, is the behaviours of that gonna how's that gonna go? The one bit of again, it's winning news, I suppose. Um, we got a phone call earlier in the week from the people that
Family
run.
liaison
Y
officer.
No, it's the transport people. So that
Oh,
the
yeah.
so
Oh.
he is with the same driver
Oh my
and
god.
chaperone, which just again we were just like, oh, weightlifted. And they said, yeah,
I
the time has changed, but the people are the same. That's a huge win for us because that's one less transition I have to deal with Tuesday morning. Apart from
um,
90% of the time last year, the time they wanted to pick him up, Frankie wasn't actually up and ready last year. So we are early. We're gonna have to
so
do it early, but
familiarity is really important. I can't go into this too much because it is gone, and it all sounds like just someone grumbling about a very thankful thing that they get. Oscar gets transport to school
yeah.
still, just like Frankie does. one year, the council had decided to change the provider,
Yeah.
and it all happened a year. Sorry, it all happened kind of a week before, but then lots of staff were off over the summer. It was difficult to get any information. It,
Mhm.
for want of a long story, it was the summer we were selling our house, so we had to kind of say we might be in by that time, but we might not be. So we might be at this address, might be at that address. They chose a cab company. It ended up being a cab, not a minibus, taking them. It, it got straightened out, but that weird anxiety. I'm glad that they commented earlier or got them contact early. It's a silly thing, but like it's not like the transition and the
Yeah.
that's good.
Well,
Okay, cool.
compared to last year, like we found out like the day before. Like we knew he was going, we just didn't know
Yeah.
what time and when to be ready by. And
Look,
but
and you
yeah.
get it, right? There's a lot of kids that need lots of transportation, a lot of additional support to get to
Mhm.
school, and
Mm.
that's a lot of phone calls and a lot of information, or a lot of
And it changes as well in
communication.
the first few
Yeah,
weeks
of
as well because
course,
they're
of
trying to
course.
work it out, which it did,
Yeah,
and
of
it was
course.
good. And yeah, but yeah, so that's
It's
just the
the
nice thing.
anxiety that it causes. I'm with you. I've been there.
Mm.
Um, right. Okay. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
How are you
Cool.
feeling about going back to work, sir?
Yeah, nice. It'd be nice to see meet and be nice to some teenagers who aren't my own. Um, uh, yeah, nice. It's a nice like get to do some nice high fives of like, oh, you're A level now, or well, you how did you feel about that, or
Mm.
oh, that was like you get to build them up, like oh, and they'll always commonly the kids who communicate about their grades will go, oh, I didn't get this in science, and I'm like, was here your for A level? I mean, was here your first choice? Did you want to come here? Yeah. Well, you made your, reframing their wins and their challenges. I think, yeah, I do love being around teens and helping them. I feel like it's something that I'm quite good at. Um, that doesn't mean to say the job is easy by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm back to the grind of doing like the hour drive to where I work. Yeah, so going back to work will be fine. The hour drive will another wrinkle. But we will take each day as it comes, and we will enjoy the weekends at home. I did say to Mabel, said, "How are you feeling about going back to school?" And I went, "Yeah," and just kind of said what I said to you. Like it's nice to like I like going to work where all of my colleagues are like 16 to 18. That makes me feel young all the time. Um, and I said also it'll be really nice to miss you. She went, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, we've been in each other's space for like all the time. And like it's gonna be nice to be like, I've hardly seen you all the time. Let me take you to football training." Or like, yeah, she was like, "Oh, okay." Um, I didn't ask her that question back, and I haven't asked Oscar that question back. So I know the answers. Because Oscar keeps asking when school, and we've got it on their calendar. And Mabel is on record as not looking forward to it. I think we're firmly in the yeah, without getting into it too much, I think last year was a bit of a roller coaster, and it was very much in the emotional based school avoidance. I think would be the work term. I'm
Mm.
just putting my teacher hat back on just so I can know all the terminology. So we are going into year 10 for some GCSEs, and I'm very conscious to push that getting through them and feeling like they've achieved is the best thing, not the numbers.
Mm, mm.
Plenty of adults out there with poor GCSEs. Plenty of adults out there doing something that they don't even test in schools,
Yeah.
you know?
No, exactly. Yeah.
And like I pointed out the other day, like a while back, we went to Go 8, and I just said, um, all of that stuff, all of that safety stuff that those people taught you and how to put the harness on and how to go do it, where do you think they learned it? Do you think they learnt it in a school? And I'm like, no. And this is not me hating on schools, by the way. Schools do amazing things, important things, but there are lots of things in life that just aren't tested. And I said, what do you think you could do that? She's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind it because it's like doing something and being active. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So we're very much, but what I know is the feeling and the pressure will come on because there will be some teachers who, for the right reasons, will say this is really important. Every minute in every single lesson is very important. So we are gearing up, but they're not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So I'm
Mhm.
predicting that there will be some school return challenges next week for both of them.
Well,
And I guess you
yeah.
won't really know how Frank's feeling until it happens.
Yeah, yeah, one of our sort of major challenges is we never really know how Frank's feeling because because we don't speak the same language, as it were. We get the visual cues, but
Yet
yet we're 4 words there. We're getting there. We're getting there.
you're learning his, he's learning yours.
Yeah. My Frankanese is definitely getting better,
Yes.
um, but yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I think the thing my experience of school was I was okay at school. Like I was kind of like C's and B's. I loved media and performance because obviously that was my thing. And when they became available to me in later school and A level, then I suppose I could say I excelled because I got the higher B's, A's.
Yeah.
Actually, I never got an A. My only A I ever got in education was my degree when I got my first,
Nice.
which is technically because I chose what I wanted to do and it's flexible enough to be able to, I'm not good at writing long form. I can make
I
things.
think there is
So,
I think we are in a tangent whirlwind of educational chat, which I
yes,
love.
sorry, yes,
However,
yes.
no, like, we can stay on call and do that, and but yeah, it
Well, no,
very
but
much.
school, yeah, school
You're
is all
right.
about. It's important. You get told all the time this is really important. If you do struggle at school, then like they do set the sats are most important. GCSEs are most important. A levels most. So it is kind of hard when I totally agree. I'm not having a go at the system as well, but I can appreciate what you're saying is, and you can feel that there's going to be some kind of friction because your attitude will be, which is a good attitude that I share is getting to the destination in whatever shape or form is a
Yeah.
win, but they get told you have to get to the destination in this particular condition,
Yeah.
and that is
Yeah.
the challenge, and it's trying to get them to
And I think
understand.
the challenge is, and that's why I quite like my job, is being able to inform them.
Mm,
It might feel like this is the most important thing,
mm.
but I appreciate for a lot of you in this room, it probably isn't.
Yeah,
It's just if that other thing is nourishing
yeah,
and gives you a drive so you can move on and have the best opportunity in your life, that's great.
yep,
If it's a negative, but then also you're on the journey to work that out. So yeah,
yeah, exactly. I do.
lots to discuss on Sunday, I think, when we come back from it.
Yeah, totally.
I'll try and keep it parenty rather than professional.
Oh, I think that's.
Oh, believe me,
We can see.
if
We can
we've been
see
doing
what
this
people
podcast,
say.
throughout last academic year, and you said, "What's been your biggest challenge?" I'd like to say most weeks it would have been a work one
Right. Okay.
because I'm not only looking after 2 there,
Yeah. Yeah.
teenagers. I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
not I haven't done the math on how many I'm actually teaching this year, but tune in next week when I will be able to tell you just exactly how many teenagers I will be supporting, because
Because
I
you'll be in
get
full
to
work mode.
yeah. I also get to pivot. Not pivot, that's wrong because I'll be going away from I'm still teaching, media and film, GCSE and A level, but little gaps on my timetable are now filled with PSHE, which is rad
Oh,
because,
amazing.
I get to have lots of conversations and put some kids right about the things that are really super important. Yeah, so it's nice. Cool. Do you wanna rock into some bath time scores really quick?
Yes. I must admit, although we do this all the time, I feel slightly unprepared for this. So, um, today, because of as I shared earlier, we just decided not to do bath today because he was upset.
Yeah,
There's
of course.
no point in having the battle to just further enrage not enrage.
He didn't want an ice lolly, so why would he get in the bath?
Exactly. So, yeah. So,
That's good. That's a slippery slope. When bath finished, then you have ice cream.
yeah,
That's a slippery slope.
yeah,
But to be fair, if it works, it works.
I mean, thinking about it, I might probably didn't articulate that story in its best form. That might have made Amy seem a bit tyrannical, but it was kind
Oh,
of
no,
like
no.
it was. Our kids have got additional needs, but you
Yes,
still want
no,
to have that level of thing. So it was just like
no.
it wasn't. He
Not
wasn't
at all.
allowed it. You just
I didn't take that at all. What I took that was, I have a child that's doing something.
yes,
They want to do something else. It's not simple. I have to give a structure.
yes, that was it.
I
Yeah.
have to give a structure and support to make that happen. And she did. And it
Half
sounds
time only
awesome.
lasted like 2 minutes, but he let everything else happen in a really effective
Good.
way. So therefore, he got
Good.
the reward at the end. But yeah, so
Um,
I was away yesterday night,
so that
Friday night.
bath
So I
time
did
happened
this
this
thing.
week though, right?
That bath time was probably would have been like Tuesday,
I'm giving you
because it
I'm
was
giving
after the
you
pod.
I'm giving you a 10 out of 10, mate.
Fair enough. Okay.
2 words involving a bath
Yeah.
time?
Well,
Come
post
on.
bath time. Yeah. Right.
Oh, come on, it's
Yeah, yeah.
linked.
Yeah, I suppose.
Sorry,
Well,
I
it's
shouldn't
still ice
score
cream,
your
isn't it?
bath time. I've just got back. I don't think you've ever given yourself a 10,
I
so
don't
it's
think I have.
important. But I do think a worrying trend that is a great bath time because there's been 2 more words spoken. He's
No, yeah,
doubled his
yeah.
word count. But
Mm.
then I am looking back on this, and I did find the only times that we've given 10s would be when we haven't done it ourselves. Oh dear! If you're listening to this, wondering what we're talking about, bath times are a challenge for both our Oscar and Frankie, and to be fair, sometimes Mabel, although she's much more independent. It's just the like accessing it, like encouraging it for her.
Mm.
So we thought we'd try and rank how we did out of 10. Uh, yes. So my one's really easy this week. We've
Were you
tried
allowed?
and
Were you allowed to do the job again after a few weeks off?
yeah, because we want to try and get back into
Routine.
some
Yeah.
working scenarios. We're going to leave it till the last night before going back to school. We tried and pushed a little bit, and there was some like washing, but it wasn't like a full bath. So we want them to have like the Sunday night experience the night before they go back to school. So it won't be tonight. So it doesn't. So there's no count. And just for the context, if you're listening, going, why you think you're behind me doing but 1 bath a week, it is all that Oscar can manage. I think that might come a time this year where that changes. But at the moment, it's so much for them, and it can take such a long time. So nothing for us. And whatever you want to say about about Amy's bath experience, which does involve doubling the word count for Frankie, not to lead you down a path or anything.
No, yeah, I suppose. Why not? Yeah, but I'll take it. We haven't given a 10. We'll go for 10. But yeah, it
Good.
was. Yeah, it happened because of. But
Thank
I
you,
think it's
Dan.
more.
Thank you for the 10.
Thank you for the 10. You're welcome.
Thank you.
96% agree with the 10.
Oh, I love it. Cool.
So it sounds like we had pretty good weeks then. I
Yeah,
sign off on my comms with "Did you win the week? Hope you win the week" for being positive. Apart
yeah, it
from
was
that last hour being really crap pre-pod, I do feel like I've had a really good summer, and maybe we can reflect on summer, maybe a little bit going back to school next week and reflecting on big wins for the summer.
yeah. As we
Uh,
were talking, and I said I did 12, and I did some maths just a minute ago. It's occurred to me that that's like a nice little neat milestone. So maybe look back and reflect. But maybe we can chat about that in the future. So yes, look ahead to the week ahead. I didn't really think about my weekend, so I don't really want to break tradition and by not looking at my phone. Oh my goodness gracious me. That looks to me yeah, sorry. On our joint calendar, all Laura's shifts are in. Excuse me. And our Saturday and Sunday is completely free.
Ooh.
Mabel will have a football game on the Sunday, but that does mean a couple of days free. So actually, who knows? I bet, obviously I'll be podding on Sunday evening with you. But yeah, I don't know. We might get to do something exciting. But yeah, I think the summer's been good. And I will say this, not wishing to sound sycophantic. I think it's been nice because I've had an opportunity each week to reflect on how that week was, rather than get to this point in the year and look back and go, what did I do with my 6 weeks?
Yeah, I can't remember what I did because it feels so
Yeah,
long
but
ago.
now I have to. Well, I was using that phrase like chronicling the good times. So yeah, and there'll be more of that next week. So thank you very much for listening into the NeuroDADverse. It's been episode 12. Thank you if you've been here from the start, or even if you just listened to this one. And genuinely, please get in contact if you want to come on and have a chat of some sort. We'd like to get sorting some of that out, but even so, Dan and I will still be here every week. And if you want to drop things in the comments, we are on Instagram at NeuroDADverse. We are on TikTok, which is the same, and our Gmail is the NeuroDADverse at gmail.com. Did I get those right, Dan?
I think you did, mate. Well done.
Cool, good. Right, bye. See you next week.
See you next week. Win the week.
That's about it for the NeuroDADverse. We'll be back next week.
If you laughed, cried, or nodded in tired agreement, don't forget to follow us and leave a review. It helps more parents find us.
Just remember, you're doing great.
You are enough, and you are definitely not alone.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at neurodadverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves.